What's up YouTube? Capital G here. Got a nice little tidbit of information. Also, possibly a little bit of a meta discussion about what the meta could become post North American WCQ. But first things first, let's talk about Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. This is a card that people have been asking for a very long time. A lot of people, myself included, thought that it was a given that it would definitely be in Shining Victories as an OCG import. For some strange reason, it just wasn't. But don't worry, we are getting this card and we're getting it extremely soon. It will be released in the Dark Side of Dimensions movie booster set, which comes out in exactly like what, 3 weeks now. So I mean, you're going to have your hands on this card very soon. And for anybody out there who really wants to play Blue Eyes at full strength, considering that the Felgrand structure deck and Gospel of Revival is going to be in that structure deck, considering it comes out like in a week and it will be legal for nationals, I would highly recommend, if you guys want to play Blue Eyes, you want to play it at full strength, pick those cards up from Shining Victories now. I think I've given away, what, 3 boxes of Shining Victories in the last 2 months. I might even give away another one for another tournament, guys. Seriously, pick these cards up because I don't think the prices are going to go down. I think a lot of people were holding tight because they didn't know when Alternative Dragon was going to be released. But now that it's pretty much in stone, I don't think that people are going to be hesitant to pick this stuff up. Now, I'm not sure if this was supposed to get out, but I mean, the information is out anyways. This is kind of like the prize layout for the YCSs and Europe, and it says right here the oversized card for the side event is the Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, and then also you win booster packs of this set that the card is found in, and it says right here Dark Side of Dimensions movie pack. So it's going to be in this pack, comes out in like 3 weeks. Now basically we'll be able to play the Blue Eyes deck at full strength. Now if you're unaware of the OCG meta, Blue Eyes is one of the strongest decks in the OCG. It's pretty much like a top 3 deck, and it's a real contender to win any event along with ABCs and DDDs. And the other deck that I want to talk about in this video is ABCs. I saw this really good deck list on Slager's channel, and the deck is absolutely insane. A lot of it has to do with the fact that the boss monster, I underrated this card a lot. When I looked at it, I saw that it could uncontact, and that's pretty cool because it essentially dodges targeting effects. Oh, you want to use evac or Ring of Destruction during my turn, or excuse me, during your turn or whatever, I can just uncontact and essentially dodge. If you want to summon your Dart Destroyer and pop my guy, I can just uncontact and I can dodge out of that effect. And it does have some good spot removal. It discards a card, banishes a card on your opponent's side of the field. They never get it back. That's pretty cool. Has good stats. But the real thing that makes this deck so good is the fact that their boss monster is summoned. It's a contact fusion, but you can also summon it by banishing the cards from the graveyard, and then when you uncontact, you get those cards back. So it's almost like a never-ending cycle of like 3k beaters. I mean, basically imagine if you could contact like Grazaris by banishing like a Bestiary and a random like Glad Beast monster from your graveyard. That's essentially what this deck does. And then it also has the toolbox of like all the level 4 machines. So you have things like Gear Giga X and the entire rank 4 engine. The deck also has synchro plays because of Cock-a-Doodle-Doo. So sometimes they'll be able to go into like Ancient Fairy Dragon. Their field spell Union Hanger is essentially it's kind of like the Oracle of Zephyr. It's like a Rhoda when you activate it, and it has another couple effects. So it's pretty good. You can activate it, you can blow it up, you can search another copy, and then of course there has to be some good level 5s. That's why they run like Transmodify, so that they can get Galaxy Soldier, and that pretty much just leads into kind of like the Cyber Dragon Affinities. People also run Honest, like multiple copies of Honest, because mostly the deck is like light. So whenever you're running Honest, you obviously have some luck sack potential. Those Soul Charge in there so that you can use your Honesties all willy-nilly and get those back. It's an extremely powerful deck. Like, if you guys don't know what this deck does, I'll probably do a discussion as we get closer, but this is going to be another deck that's going to be coming out around that time, because in this same booster set, the silver and gold gadget are both in that set, and those are definitely cards that you play in this deck. So what am I getting at essentially? With Blue Eyes about to be at full strength, and with us about to be able to play ABCs, because I really wasn't sure when ABCs would basically, when we'd be able to play this deck, but we're going to be able to play this deck in October, guys. The Kaiba structure deck, I mean, yeah, there's the Yugi one too. I'm going to be just very blunt. I don't give a fuck about the Yugi one. I'm not buying it. I'm probably going to buy 3 copies of the Kaiba just because I want to play the ABC deck. Like, I don't give a fuck about the Yugi deck at all. But because this deck comes out in October, the 3rd week of October, and because our ban list will essentially be about 6 months old at that point, I'm wondering if there's potential for us to be going into kind of like a completely different meta. You know what I mean? There's obviously the option that Konami could essentially blow up Monarchs, that they could kind of, you know, blow up decks like Burning Abyss, or they could, you know, hit Cosmo. I don't think that they would absolutely nuke Cosmo into the ground, but you could hypothetically see them doing it with Burning Abyss. Burning Abyss have been tier 1 ever since Duelist Alliance. By the time that this comes out, that'll basically be over, it'll be a little over 2 years that Burning Abyss have been, you know, basically tier 1. Like, I wouldn't put it past them to just nuke Dante into the ground and say, all right, you're now limited to 1. Burning Abyss, RIP, it's not really a good deck anymore. You know what I mean? We're going to do what happened in the OCG. We're going to limit Pantheism to 1. We're going to limit Domain to 1. And then Monarchs are pretty much taken out of the picture too. And then all you have, you know, is pretty much Cosmo left standing. And you have these other 2 decks in Blue Eyes and ABC that are kind of waiting in the wings, ready to step up and kind of take that spot. And I think a lot of people say that the OCG meta is just, it's a little more fun. You know what I mean? This deck is based around unions and little monsters that kind of contact fuse into big monsters. There's a lot of old mechanics that haven't necessarily been used in a while, such as the union, such as contacts. We really haven't played that since Ritual Beast. With Blue Eyes, there's a whole lot of nostalgia. So, I mean, we essentially could be playing anime decks, which is cool because not a lot of the anime decks are very good. I actually saw Chateau Chat, and he was talking about how a lot of the anime archetypes aren't very good, but this can actually be a time where maybe anime decks can basically be the best, because in the OCG, the 3 best decks are all anime decks. DDDs are played by Reggie and Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V, so, you know, that definitely counts there. So I want to know what you guys think. You know what I mean? Do you think that there's a possibility that by the time we get these decks at full strength, which essentially will be, well, Blue Eyes will be at full strength around the end of this month, and then ABC will be a full strength about 3 months later. But I think, again, we're going to be getting a new ban list around this time, and I think that there's a very strong possibility that a lot of the major decks, a lot of the best decks right now, are definitely going to get hit. I don't think Cosmo will get destroyed. I don't want to make this into a ban list video or anything like that, but I just think that there's a chance that Konami will cycle out some of those decks, so some of these new decks can definitely shine like they are shining in the OCG, and I think that's just going to be a lot of fun. But are you guys excited about Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon? I think it's really shocking that they're just going to drop it on us like that, because again, I thought it was a shoo-in that it was going to be released in Shining Victories with all the other Blue Eyes stuff, but it's coming out now, guys, or excuse me, coming out in 3 weeks. Again, pick up your Blue Eyes stuff. I'm going to have another video probably no later than Sunday about some of the cards that you guys should probably consider picking up before they get expensive. Thank you guys for watching, as always.